The knock landed hard enough to rattle the door. Amara flinched, her foot half inside her shoe, backpack open on the bed behind her. The knock came again, louder, closer, like whoever stood outside expected the door to obey. "Open the door," a man's voice said. Calm, flat. "Military police." Her stomach dropped. For a moment, she didn't move. Her mind raced through small, panicked thoughts that didn't make sense. Missed homework, borrowed coins, the mornings she crossed Maple Street when everyone else avoided it. "Amara," her mother called from the kitchen. "Who is it?" Amara swallowed and stepped forward. The floor felt cold under her feet as she pulled the door open. Two officers stood on the porch, not aggressive, not smiling. Their uniforms were neat, their posture practiced, their faces unreadable in a way that made her chest tighten. "Are you Amara Johnson?" one asked. She nodded. "We need to talk to you about Walter Harris." Her breath caught. Her mother appeared beside her, hand resting on Amara's shoulder. "Is something wrong?" "No, ma'am," the officer said. "Not in the way you're thinking." That didn't help. As they spoke, Amara's thoughts slid backward, pulled by the sound of his name into the mornings that had led here. She had noticed Walter Harris because no one else did. Every morning before school, she moved quietly through the kitchen, careful not to wake her brother. Silence came easily to her. It always had. She toasted bread, boiled eggs, poured tea into a cracked plastic cup. She wrapped everything in a clean cloth and slid it into her bag beside her books. Her mother saw it from the start. "You're feeding someone again," she said one morning. "I have enough," Amara replied. It wasn't entirely true, but it was easier than saying the rest, that the mornings felt lighter when she knew someone would be waiting. That being expected somewhere made it harder to feel invisible. Walter's house sat at the end of Maple Street, quiet and stripped down, paint peeling, yard bare. People crossed the road when they passed it. Some whispered, others pretended it wasn't there. The first time Amara knocked, she almost ran. The door opened just enough for a face to appear. Older than she expected, eyes sharp, tired, like they never fully rested. "What do you want?" he asked. "I brought breakfast," she said, holding it out too fast. "I didn't ask for charity." "It's not charity," she said quickly. "It's just food." He stared at her. For a long moment, she thought he'd shut the door. "Leave it," he muttered. She didn't. She came back the next day, and the next. At first, he barely spoke. He ate while she sat on the steps, talking because silence made her nervous. She talked about school, about teachers she didn't understand, about how math felt like it was written in another language. He didn't respond, but he listened. She knew because his eyes followed her, alert, focused. Sometimes his hands shook. Sometimes a sudden sound made him flinch so hard his chair scraped the floor. Once when a helicopter passed overhead, he dropped his cup and backed into the wall, breathing fast, eyes unfocused. "It's okay," Amara said without thinking. "It's gone." He stared at her like she dragged him back from somewhere far away. "You shouldn't come here," he said later. "This isn't a place for kids." "But you're here," she replied. That ended the conversation. Weeks passed, then months. Walter started sweeping his porch. The curtains opened during the day. Sometimes he sat outside, watching Amara walk away. The neighbors noticed, but they didn't comment. They didn't see the nights. The way Walter woke up soaked in sweat, heart racing, hands gripping the sheets like they were the only thing keeping him anchored. He didn't dream in images. He dreamed in sounds. Orders shouted too late, silence that followed. He kept his service papers locked away. No medals, no letters. Just proof that he had served and been quietly dismissed. He had followed an order once, just once, and it had gone wrong. Every morning Amara knocked, and for a few minutes he could pretend he was just another man eating breakfast. One morning, she didn't show up. Walter sat at the table staring at the door, his chest tight in a way he recognized too well. When she finally arrived, breathless and apologetic, he snapped, "Don't do that again!" Her eyes widened. "I'm sorry, my brother was sick." He rubbed his face. "Just don't disappear." The words surprised both of them. That night, Walter asked for help, which was why the officers now stood in Amara's living room, voices low, careful. "He was admitted early this morning," one said, "a veterans medical facility." "Veterans?" Amara repeated. But he served, the officer said, then paused. Not the way people celebrate. Amara frowned. What does that mean? It means he's lived a long time believing he doesn't deserve forgiveness. Silence filled the room. He asked us to find you, the officer continued. Said you were the only person who knew him without knowing his past. He handed her an envelope. Her name was written unevenly across the front. Can I see him? She asked. Later that day, she stood by his window in the facility. He looked smaller there, cleaner, tired in a different way. You came, he said. Of course, she replied. Why wouldn't I? He looked away. I didn't tell you because I didn't want it to be real. They told me, she said, about the discharge. He nodded. I followed an order. It was wrong. People died. I didn't get medals. I got paperwork. She sat beside him. I thought you were poor. I was, he said quietly, just not with money. They watched cars move below them. I came here for selfish reasons sometimes, Amara admitted. I didn't want the morning to end. He glanced at her. So we were both hiding. Yes. When she opened the letter later, it was short. I tried to explain this properly. I couldn't. I don't know if what you did saved me. I only know it interrupted something that was trying to end me. The rest of the page was blank. Walter didn't heal quickly. Some days he talked. Some days he didn't. Some days he told her not to come. Do you want me back tomorrow? She asked once. He hesitated. Yes. That was enough. She left knowing kindness didn't fix people. Sometimes it just reminded them they hadn't disappeared yet, and sometimes that was everything.